What's going on, everyone? Welcome into another episode of the Dairyland Drive podcast. It's Victory Tuesday that we're recording this on. We haven't been able to say that for a few weeks. So no matter how ugly or whatever you want to describe the win, a win is a win in the NFL. And the Packers finally get back in the winning column over the Giants, 27-20. Collin, Mike, and Riley, we're going to break it all down. I have a lot to talk about on the green and gold side of things along across the sports world. But one thing I noticed, and I don't know if you guys have noticed this as well, there's all these like superstition kind of like coincidences that are always happening in sports. And what about the Packers right now? We all know the lucky number age of a Packers quarterback to win the Super Bowl is 27. We knew that with Brett Favre, Aaron Rodgers, Jordan Love just turned 27 this year. The Packers, in 5 of their 6 wins, they've scored 27 points. As weird as that is, that seems to be the magic number for them to get to. But what do you make of kind of those sports coincidences or superstitions? Do you buy into them at all, or is it just kind of one of those freak things that just seems to happen week after week? But it is kind of crazy that every single one of their wins, except the Steelers, they've reached 27 points. Like I said, Jordan Love is 27. Does that mean, hey, let's remain optimistic? Maybe the stars are aligning a little bit, and we're just supposed to go through this craziness right now.
It is weird. I'm not going to put too much stock in it, though. I mean, you can find a parallel in just about anything. I mean, just about every season, everyone wants to find a parallel to 2010, 1996. I mean, find whatever parallel you want. It doesn't mean anything's gonna come of it ultimately. So it's fun. It's a fun storyline, but I'm not putting too much stock into it.
Yeah, same. Definitely exactly what Mike just said. It's weird, but like keep it short. Like Matt LaFleur is still a dipshit and he's still the head coach calling plays. So it's nothing's fucking fancy's happening this year.
Does it mean that like the offense has to score 27 points pretty much, or we're not winning? Is that where we're getting away here with how up and down the defense has been? I know across just overall this season that kind of seems to be almost the magic number. But want to talk about the game a little bit. I will admit I didn't catch a ton of it live. I was on the road back from Illinois. I rolled in like the fourth quarter, and literally the first play I saw was the Christian Watson touchdown grab. So if every single Sunday can be like that, sign me up. I'll take all the highs in the last 5 minutes of the game and lead to a victory. But I did watch the full like recap, like every single play by play. But did you have any big takeaways? I mean, it seemed to me it was a lot of the same. I know the offense.
Yep.
Christian Watson, probably the bright spot of what he means to this offense, and maybe literally their only hope of maybe getting out of the rut is finding him more targets. But the defense now, that's gotta start becoming a concern at some point, right? Like these long drives that they're giving up of just 15 to 18 plays going across the entire field, taking up 6 to 8 minutes. That keeps the offense off the field, which I don't know if that really means anything anyways, but still the defense, it seems like the adjustment hasn't been made, and that's how teams are attacking the Packers. Is the Packers they're okay giving up these long drives and making the other teams' offenses make mistakes, but for the most part, the other team's offenses aren't making mistakes, and they're finishing them off with touchdowns and getting points. So what was your big takeaway overall on either side of the ball that you walked away with this and hopefully a little better mindset in a victory? What was the main takeaway for you two?
Yeah, just more of the same as it's been for the last however many weeks. Offense is just a grind every single play, every single drive. It seems like nothing really seems to come easy for them. Everything's a struggle. And defensively, Collin, my brother, who might be the last Joe Barry defender on the planet, was texting you and I on Sunday, saying, I thought we were supposed to have this great defense. I thought Jeff Hafley was our Lord and Savior. And I mean, he kind of has a point right now. I mean, It feels like a lot of the same that we saw from the Joe Barry defense, just letting teams kind of dink and dunk, paper cut their way down the field, but with better talent. So, I mean, yeah, I don't really know what Jeff Halfley what his plan is. Just let teams limit the explosive plays and just have faith that they're going to stop them down in the red zone, the last 30 yards. I don't know. And then special teams always an adventure again. Win might have played a little factor into it, but we'll get into that a little bit later.
Yeah, special teams suck. I think all along, every Packers fan, like we've talked about it a million times, we say the Packers play at a level of competition. They don't, just the defense does. The offense just is not good. LaFleur, like Mike said, like LaFleur is like, if I ever say it's Jordan Love, or I think he might, I don't know how good he is, you guys got to tell me to shut up, because Jordan Love like played fucking, he basically just said fuck it at one point in time and like basically told LaFleur to fuck off is how I was perceiving it, and he just started like running around just doing his own thing. Like LaFleur is fucking lost. He needs to give up play calling. I don't care who he gives it to. Like they like this was their best game running the ball, and then he wouldn't fucking stick to the run. And it's like, I get Josh Jacobs is going out, but geez, Emmanuel Wilson's doing fucking fine. Like they were at a point where they're averaging like 6.5 yards a carry, and he just randomly stopped. It's like, dude, you fucking have run Josh Jacobs into the dirt for fucking 2 yards of fucking carry, and you keep doing it in all the other fucking games, and now we're getting 6 yards, and you fucking stop. It's just, don't get me started on this fucking tight end situation. All three of them are fucking terrible. Why is there 3 tight end? Like, what are we doing? Then, like, I don't know. I thought, and we've talked about it, I thought Dontavian Wicks 2 years ago was pretty good. Apparently, he's fucking worthless and sucks. Matthew Golden, they don't want to throw him the ball. They do him once, he gets a fucking PI ball and like with him inside the 5-yard line. Don't do it the rest of the game, because why the fuck would you do that? I mean, yeah, Christian Watson came alive. That's just because fucking Love just said fuck it and started hucking it to him. So, like, they weren't set up for it. I don't know. I'm just all the way out on the floor like I have been. Like, he has no fucking rhythm. I don't understand why personnel packages he plays with, and I don't know. It's fucking mind blowing. Jordan Morgan's not a right guard, by the way. He sucks there. Sean Ryan actually was really good at center. He fucking run blocks better than we've seen. So I guess whatever. Maybe he's a solution there in the future. But yeah, I don't know. There's a lot of question marks, and it seems like he's just like playing guys like because he thinks he has to, instead of like actually like, can we just play the best fucking players? Like I just don't get it.
Yeah, you mentioned the offensive line. I know PFF did their like grades. Surprisingly, the second highest grade across the entire league was Aaron Banks in terms of like offensive linemen. Obviously, the best of the season. But yeah, the other side, Jordan Morgan. I don't know what you do there. There's really no one else to play at this point with Elton Jenkins hurt. They refuse to give Anthony Belton like a look inside that we've been kind of preaching and talking about. So, yeah, I guess we're going to see. It's going to be very interesting, like past the season, what the offensive line is going to look like. But yeah, I want to talk a little bit about the tight end. They bring in a guy. Was it Josh Wiley? Is that how you say it? Has a pretty big role in the offense for the most part of coming in, and I mean, he was integrated pretty quickly. Luke Musgraves played, 2 snaps in the second half, pretty much didn't see the field. John Fitzpatrick is what he is. Is that just does it just kind of show you, like we talked about like roster building? I know, Riley, you've been confused about it this entire time, but the fact that you bring a free agent off the street and then all of a sudden he has a bigger impact than your current 2 tight ends that have been on the roster since week 1, that just kind of tells you there's just a lot of like swings and misses right now, at least offensive line, tight end, and kind of that position group. Because that's kind of my takeaway. Because I thought like Wiley was fine, but like you said, he's like a solid tight end 3, like on an average to good team, right? But it seems like he might have to be the freaking guy moving forward with how bad both Fitzpatrick and Musgrave have been, right? And how little to no impact that they've had on the offense. Like, it's just kind of crazy. And obviously, you said LaFleur wants to use his tight ends. He has to use his slot guys and he has to use his tight ends, and that's just kind of what he's got right now. But it just kind of shows you how crazy that whole process has been with like just the roster construction, I would say.
Yeah, it just blows my mind that we have 3 tight ends in the roster, and none of them are good at run blocking, and none of them are good at fucking catching the ball. Like, Josh Wiley's touchdown was fucking, like, and I said this, what was it, 2 or 3 weeks ago? I brought up, like, he wants to run the ball. Like, how about we actually sign a fucking fullback? That's how his touchdown came. He fucking motioned back to the fullback and just leaked out. It's like, yeah, why don't we actually have a fullback so we can, like, actually set this stuff up? Like, you're lucky the Giants' defense is just dumb. It's like they know we don't use, I don't even know how they fell for it. We don't use like fullback stuff, but we could is my point. So it's just, I don't know. You would think they would have tried to trade for somebody. Like, I've been out on Musgrave like since like the second game of his rookie year, and like obviously they've been out on him all year. Like, anybody can say what they want, but like even before, like, I get the Tucker Kraft, but like literally we've talked about all season. Like, Fitzpatrick was out snapping him like every game. Like, so like they obviously think Musgrave sucks too. Tucker Kraft goes down week before trade deadline. They just don't do anything. It's like, what are we, like, the roster management part? You just right, like, what are we doing? We're not even like trying to like be productive, and like it just goes to the point of just like, half the time I think Goody and LaFleur are super connected, and half the time it's like I don't even know like what's happening in the building. It's like, do they talk? Like, does he like walk? Like, how can he not walk up there and be like, Goody? Like, I would love to keep using 2 and 3 tight end sets, and like all 3 of them suck, and everybody knows it. Like, then it's like at the same time, it's like obviously no, he doesn't. It's like you look at all the special team shit, and it's like, Jesus Christ, who does LaFleur talk to? Does he talk to anybody in the building, or does he just sit in his freaking room and figure out how many different weird ways he can motion Matthew Golden, Sabian Williams to do nothing? Like, I don't get it.
Yeah,
What
I agree. Yeah, go ahead, Mike.
would you? So I think it's established. Musgrave's not a good run blocker. He's not a guy that is going to catch a ball in the flat and get you yards after catch. I mean, if a guy like looks at him, he's going down. Would you even try to use him more downfield because it doesn't feel like they are really trying that? Or are you just not even throwing him out there at this point?
I wouldn't throw any of them out there. I would not use a tight end at all. I would not cut all of them. I would cut Mike. You're not going to get anything from Musgrave. Like, I'm not saying there's no point now, but like, I'll say this. I would be shocked if Musgrave's on the roster like next year. I would be shocked. I just don't. I mean, they could put him out wide and try, but like, Jesus, they don't even try with Matthew Golden. I don't know why you would try with Musgrave. I just don't understand. I just don't know what his like going back to the original thing, like Collin said how clunky it was, and you said it too. I don't even know like what they're trying to do in offense. Like, you think all I wants to do is run the ball, then like they start averaging 6 yards a carry and he just stops. It's like, it doesn't make any sense.
Yeah. But another positive you talk about, Jordan Love. This was up there with one of his best like PFF grades, however you take that with a grain of salt, but that was up there with I think like top 2 or top 3 of his career, maybe even I'd have to look and see what the actual stat was, but I don't know. He's had a lot of games like that or halves like that this year where I think the argument of is it LaFleur, is it Love, I think it's starting to favor Love more of, like you mentioned, like who's not the problem. I don't know. It's tough to not take away with some of these Packer wins that Jordan Love's not the problem because he has been a big reason why they've won, and some of the plays that he's made with his arm and his legs and outside the pocket and just getting into rhythm. And I think this game was a perfect example of it. Like, you take away the drops, which the drops apparently are back now, just like awful, some of the drops. Even like Romeo Doubs had a couple drops. Obviously, you talked about Musgraves and a couple other players, but like Love was pretty much on it the entire game, I would say. And he was maybe the reason why they ran, obviously, the running game a little bit too. But where are you guys at with that? I know Riley, I don't know if I'm going to ask because I think I already know his his answer of who the problem is. But Mike, where are you kind of at with that? Like, are you starting to maybe get a better understanding that Love might, maybe I don't want to say like the guy, but Love's not the problem. Like Love has to be like leaned on for this offense, maybe to get out of their funk and reach like to the capacity. And maybe it is a LaFleur problem of kind of putting the training wheels on him or not letting him get to his ceiling, this offense to the ceiling. Where are you at with all of that now?
Yeah, I think that's kind of been the consensus the last few weeks is that ball needs to be in Jordan Love's hands. More need to start hucking it down the field a little bit more. Hey, I mean, I didn't realize watching the game live on Sunday that he had played that well. I guess the drops probably factored into it, and just like being a fan and just like stressing out for 3 hours probably blinded me to that a little bit. But I mean, it seems like everybody is saying like this is one of his best games he's ever played. So, um, as someone who doesn't know like the ins and outs of football that much, I'll take the words of people who know better than me, for it. So, I mean, yeah, I mean, I don't know if he had a turnover worthy play, quote unquote, on Sunday either, which is encouraging to see. Especially with like how windy it was and whatnot. So yeah, I mean, I feel like at this point, like he is not nearly as big of a problem as Matt LaFleur is right now.
I just want to make a point. Like, I think part of the reason why some people like said like, oh shit, he actually did play good. It's because when he banged up his shoulder, like Malik Willis came in, they go right down and score, and like that just like I point of bringing that up even because like fine, like LaFleur can like call good shit because when Malik Willis came in, they had a set of plays. Like, all right, we're gonna run inside zone, then read option, then we're gonna go dump off. Like, there's actually a fucking plan. Why is there a plan when the backup quarterback comes in, but when you're starting offenses, there's no like everything that they did in that one drive was to build. Each play was a build, and then you do this off of this, and you do this off of this. Then we watch fucking the number one offense out there with Josh Jacobs and freaking Jordan Love, and like it's like the most random, doesn't go, doesn't build. Like that's what I'm pissed off is because LaFleur can like literally won 2 games last year, like had a touchdown drive. The easiest touchdown drive of the entire day was with Malik freaking Willison because he actually had a plan, like shit that builds off each other. And then when Jordan Love's out there, like it's just a fucking random shit show. Like he's just fucking flipping a fucking coin and putting his finger down blindly on a piece of paper and calling a random play. Like that's what I'm so pissed. Like it's like in it just how is that possible? Like how you have a set of plays that literally build off each other. You go right down the field and score with your backup quarterback, but you can't like there's no fucking plan. Like the starting offense, like still what is this, the 6th week in a row? Like they haven't scored 14 or whatever. But and like this is the highest they have, and like fucking I don't even count it because 6 of the points were from Malik Willis. Like Jordan Love has not fucking scored more than like 10 points in the first half since fucking like week 2 or 3 or 4, wherever the fuck they played the Cowboys. Like, it's fucking insane.
Yeah. And I think that's why so many fans were excited after kind of that ridiculous run of him in the offense like 2 years ago that led into that, the postseason. And then, even last year when you mentioned Malik Willis coming in and just how dialed in LaFleur was as a play caller, and all of us were on the, okay, well, let's add Jordan Love into that where he has a better arm and, can take this offense to a whole nother level, like you mentioned. And it's just gone south, it feels like, since then, unfortunately. But one thing I do want to mention, it's getting to the point, it's pretty obvious. Anytime Savion Williams is out on the field, he's getting the ball. I think there was some, like, ridiculous stat of, like, if you, like, targets per snap, he's, like, second. I think he's second in the entire NFL of, like, anytime he's out on the field, like, the snaps that he gets, like, he's getting the ball. So I don't know. Take that what you want. If he needs more snaps, or if that's like easy for defense of like, hey, 83 is coming to the game. Guess what? He's probably getting the ball. I think you could probably make the same argument if Bo Melton's coming in at any point. You're probably getting a jet sweep or something right now. But I just wanted to mention that Savion Williams is kind of crazy. It's like, yeah, he doesn't obviously play a ton of snaps. Like he's up there with like Jamar Chase, but Jamar Chase just plays a ton more snaps, gets a ton more targets, but just with the snaps that he plays, the percentage of those snaps turning into targets is like the second highest in the league, which is, I think, kind of like funny of just, you mentioned specific kind of plays for players. But all right, let's go to the defense.
On.
Yep.
If that's a trend, then they need to start using that against the defense. Like if he
100,
is smart and knows what he's doing, then he needs to figure out how to use that against the defense.
100%.
Who knows if he will though?
Prime week if Josh Jacobs can't play because he's basically your number. I love Chris Brooks and he'll be in there in passing downs, but I guarantee Savion Williams is going to play running back at like a quarter of the time in like run situation. Like Emmanuel Wilson will get 3/4 of the carries. I think Savion will jump Chris Brooks and get like at least 5 or 6 carries this week. They could use him as a decoy and plenty of situation. I don't know. That's something I would say they should do, and it's obvious to probably based off that stat and like Mike, you just said like something they should do. Will Ford do it? No fucking clue. Probably not. But yeah, it's very set up, especially this week.
Yeah, I mean he's proved to be a weapon. Like we've seen him out wide, we've seen him like do jet sweeps, we've seen him in the backfield, and like he could be fun in an offense. He's just I don't know if it's just been him not being healthy or obviously some of it's LaFleur, but what would a competent like play caller and head coach do right now? Probably find ways to utilize him in the offense. If it is like on third downs or obvious passing situations out of the backfield, I would have to think that he would be a big mismatch, but I don't know.
Or just use him as a regular receiver because he made a sick catch on the only fucking attempt he's gotten all year downfield. He's 1 for 1. But yeah, let's just fucking let him stay on the sideline and run side to side.
Yeah. Yep, that's where we're at. I can't argue against that. All right, well, I'm gonna go to the defense. Another pretty up and down day for the defense. I don't know how else to put it. I mean, talent wise, we've mentioned like there's no reason why this shouldn't be like a top 5 defense in the league. And for the most part, they've been good all year, but I think there's just been some inconsistencies. One trend I've noticed too, and I don't know like how much truth this is to it. This is just from like my eye. Does it seem like situational wise, like anytime the offense does put a drive together and get any sort of momentum back, that the following ensuing series, the defense either gives up, a long ass drive where they're on the field for 8 minutes and give up points, and then boom, momentum's gone. Is that just me, or does that seem to be like a kind of a startling trend that seems to happen of any sort of like momentum that we finally get on offense? It just gets killed like the next series where the other team's offense either takes a bunch of time up and in a field goal or answers with a touchdown of its own. It's super frustrating. That just seems to me to be the case like quite a bit, especially these last few weeks.
Yeah, that's the problem with letting teams dink and dunk their way down the field. I mean, they're not getting off the field on third down and fourth down. Like they're setting themselves up in advantageous third down situations, and then I mean, a lot of teams they're not electing to punt now. They're going for it on fourth, and Packers aren't successfully stopping them when they need to consistently.
Yeah, it seems.
Yeah,
go ahead.
You can go.
Well, I just want to say it seems to me like this is when teams like good defenses, they like build off that momentum. Like if you name an elite defense in the league, like let's mention like the Broncos. I would say the Broncos are probably an elite freaking defense right now. Like they feed off that shit. If their offense finally gets a touchdown, more times than not, that next series, they're going to force a 3 and out or make some kind of big play to get off the field right away, keep the momentum going. Seems like the Packers, they're complete opposite of that. Their defense just kind of relaxes a little bit or gets like a little, maybe not as intense and not as like the all 11 hands to the ball and flying around like we've seen them do at times. And I don't know, it just seems to be a problem, especially when you start playing good teams that are, have those good offenses. But I don't know. Yeah, go ahead and whatever you're going to say, Rob. I just wanted to add to that too.
No, for the defense, like Mike's brought about short yard or like fourth down or whatever, and a lot of it's short yardage. Like they don't have like in their run defense, like hasn't been awful, but like we saw the Panthers impose their will. The Giants kind of did this last week too. Like they just don't have a big defensive tackle. Like Carl Brooks and Kobe Wooden are fine. Devontae Wyatt, like they're all fine, but like they're not like just run stuffers. Like they don't have one. I wish they'd go out and sign one. They don't play Nazir Stackhouse and Brinson enough. Like I think they could maybe be better than those guys. But then you see Carl Brooks and Kobe Wooden out there and like short, whatever. I don't know. Two, Rashawn Gary's like disappeared in my opinion. Like Micah Parsons is playing out of his fucking mind, like whatever. But like, there's no other pass rusher right now for whatever reason. So until Rashawn Gary shows back up, like that's going to be an issue. And 3, and like I'm kind of nervous about this Vikings game this week because I think Kevin O'Connell, I think you guys would probably agree, is probably what a top 3 offensive mind like right now. But at the same time, I'm not scared because I think you guys probably agree as well. JJ McCarthy is fucking not good. Like I don't like we've talked about this. Mike kind of brought it up too, and how we're talking about the defense just like dink and dunk stuff. And it's because the Packers played the most like vanilla zone defense, like high school level zone defense, like basic concept stuff like that. And it's teams just motion them out of what they want to do. I want you guys to watch this week because fucking I guarantee Kevin O'Connell might do it every fucking play. Like Bullard will start in the slot, right? Slot playing out of his mind. That's fine, whatever. He'll start on a receiver in the slot. They will motion that receiver across. And instead of following him to the other side, he will bump into a linebacker spot. Quay or McDuffie, I don't know if Quay's going to play this week, will bump, and then Edge will bump out. Which obviously fucking anybody that knows football knows, like, all right, the Packers are playing zone coverage. And that's what's happening all the time here in this dink and dunk, and it's very fucking obvious. Instead of just like any other NFL defense where the slot will either follow him across and like you can still play man, you can play zone, blah, 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 blah. That's what's been happening lately. And that's all this dink and dunk stuff is teams like in the, like halfway doesn't even try to disguise it. Like literally it's like the most basic ass defense. Like seriously, watch this week. It'll be Justin Jefferson will be in the slot over Bullard. He'll motion across, and instead of Bullard following, he'll just bump down to a linebacker. Middle linebacker, whoever it is this week, will bump over, and the Edge will be out there in the fucking slot over Justin Jefferson, which obviously, like I said, everybody knows it's fucking zone. So for one, gonna give up an easy completion. 2, Bullard is now in the fucking box as run defender, which he holds his own actually. So it's actually not been too much of an issue there. But like schematically, if a nickel is in the fucking box, usually good teams are going to take advantage of that. But I want you guys to watch that. Watch when teams motion and Bullard does not. He just bumps over and ends up playing linebacker. And it's just so fucking vanilla. And maybe you won't see it at all in Halfley because Halfley seems to pull shit out of his ass against division opponents like the Lions week 1. Like he ran shit that week that we have not seen since, I feel like. So maybe he'll have some special shit, but he's just so vanilla right now, just so basic ass cover 2, cover 3, and it's just teams are just picking him apart. I don't even think he has the excuse that the corners suck, like we were talking about earlier this season, because Carrington Valentine's kind of fucking playing out of his mind. Nixon is hit or miss, but he hasn't been bad the last couple of weeks. So I don't know what his fucking deal is or why he won't do it, but it's just very vanilla right now. And it's like there's not even like, you can be vanilla, but like at least disguise it. Like all you got to do is have Bullard follow him across. And if you want to play zone, play zone. But Jesus, you can't have edge on like a stud receiver. And like, obviously, you know what they're doing. Like, there's not even deception. There's nothing.
Anything to add to that, Mike?
I will just say they had a few opportunities at turnovers on Sunday, and they didn't capitalize on them. And it kind of seems like anytime this defense has an opportunity at getting a turnover and they don't make it happen, it's like, okay, the offense like regalvanizes itself and just like takes advantage of it, and it just makes their way down the field the rest of that drive. Like they know they got one over on the defense there, and now like they're not going to let it happen again.
Yeah. Yeah, I think you would say like situational wise, like this defense has certainly struggled like mightily this season in like key spots where maybe last year when we were starting to get excited, they were making plays on the back end and causing turnovers or things like that. But yeah, I think the obvious part is Micah Parsons is still playing at a elite level when he is literally all they are getting right now. I think in the pass rush, you mentioned like Rashawn Gary had a good first few weeks, but he's just disappeared when this should have been like a big season for him with all the attention on the other side of the field and maybe opening up some one-on-one stuff for him. But that part's been disappointing. I wanted to talk though quick about, I don't know, we'll get to Mike and the Lambeau lines here, but one thing I'm gonna wrap up with, would you agree or disagree with this statement? Like right now, besides Micah Parsons, Evan Williams is the most important part to the defense right now of how he's playing and what he's all doing.
I'll go Bullard.
What do you mean most important? Like he's been the most impactful? He's probably been the most impactful behind
most impactful. Yeah, I would say.
behind Parsons. But I mean, if we're gonna talk importance, we need the rest of Parsons' line mates to step up.
Yeah. I don't know. He seems like he's just been like Mr. Consistent. Yes, I think him and Bullard probably both. I think the two younger safeties, I think, have probably been the most like consistent and most like reliable each and every week of what you're going to get with them, which is, nice to see for the future, but it just kind of, hey, let's put everything together and get all 11 guys on that. But you mentioned, well, maybe we'll see a little different side with the home crowd on the division. But before we get to Lambeau Lines, it's our weekly anything to add to special teams talk. Finally, McManus is out. I mean, I think everyone knew it was going to happen, with Haversick. But the one, are you talking about the kicker specifically or special teams overall? Kicker specifically?
Yeah.
What I want to mention too, and maybe I missed this, has there been a freaking game this entire season where the Packers haven't been called for some sort of penalty on a return?
Probably not.
It seems like every single game you can tally that. Like if there's like a tally mark behind, if we're like doing a live stream of day since whatever, no penalty on special teams, we'd probably be pretty high right now because it seems like any sort of return, which also I wanted to mention this too. I saw some sort of article like the bottom 3 players right now in punt return average yards are on the Packers in the entire league. Of Keyshawn Nixon is last, Matthew Golden is second to last, Romeo Doubs is third to last. Just want to throw that out there, along with all the penalties, and then we'll obviously get to the kicking situation. I don't know. What's the common denominator of it all? Well, he's still on the sidelines, and a scary Italian dude, but he still is there nonetheless. So, all right, with that being said, let's go to this week's Lambeau Lines. I'll shift it over to Mike for this week's segment.
Okay. So if Josh Jacobs does end up missing this week's game against the Vikings, his absence will have an impact of blank on the offense.
Go ahead, Riley. I'm trying to think of a word.
You can say however you want.
I would say like nothing because they fucking can't run the ball and like I don't know. I don't even know how much he would like. Obviously, he'd get carries and stuff, but I think this is going to be a huge Chris Brooks week with how good he is in pass protection and how psychotic Brian Flores is. So like, I'm actually like happy about it because I'm hoping this is LaFleur like, all right, I'm gonna have to fucking open it up. I don't have my workhorse, blah blah blah. So I don't know. I mean, obviously it hurts, but like I don't have a specific. I don't think it's like that big of a deal in this game, in my opinion. Especially with how good like the entire interior defensive line of the Vikings are. Like I don't know if we'd run the ball well regardless.
Yeah, I would agree with everything on that. Maybe the one area that would hurt you would be kind of within the red zone if they get there, or within the 10-yard line, since he has been so good in some of those situations. I mean, he's 11 touchdowns so far this season, so I don't know if that's like a word, but that would probably be like my biggest worry if he were to miss some time of like finishing in the red zone, which the Packers have struggled at times, to finish in the red zone without Josh Jacobs. I mean, I want to know what I mean, all of his touchdowns have to be like within 10 to 15 yards, right? Has he had a longer run than 25, 30 yards for a touchdown? I think everything's like been within the red zone. So that kind of shows you just like how much they lean on him in the red zone and how important he is on the red zone. So I think that's where it would impact him the most. But yeah, I mean, maybe it forces your hand to actually call some shit and get some flow going. Like I don't know, I thought Emmanuel Wilson did fine. I mean, we know what we're getting with Emmanuel Wilson. He runs hard, he's physical, he's got a little bit of burst of him. But yeah, like what's it going to look like after that? Is it going to be Chris Brooks situationally? Is Savion Williams going to get some different looks in different like formations and whatnot? I don't know. Like I don't think anyone knows. Just Matt LaFleur probably smiling of all the cool ideas he's going to have this week and cool looks that he's going to have. We'll see if it actually happens. But I would say like a big red zone impact would be my thing. You'd have to kind of figure that out of how to finish and get 6 inside of there without him.
Okay. Next one. The drops from the receivers have kind of climbed here the last couple weeks. I don't have the exact numbers, but it's definitely more than what was in the first however many weeks of the season. So on a scale from 0 to 5, 0 being not concerned at all, 5 being very concerned, how concerned are we about the wide receiver drops going forward?
5. Well, there's like no repercussions. It's like, and I've been as high in Romeo Dobbs from and whatever, but it's like, dude, like this is your fucking job. You can't just like not do your job and like, yep, just go back out there. Matthew Golden, by the way, you just stand in the fucking sideline, go fuck yourself. But yeah, Dobbs, just go drop 2 more balls. That's fine. Just keep going out there. You suck at your job. It's fine. There's just no like somebody sucks at their job. Like, I'm not saying you have to bench him for the rest of the year, but put somebody else in. You can't just say like, yeah, it's fine. No, it's not fine. This is not high school football where you don't have another kid to put in. It's the fucking NFL. Like, LaFleur, coach somebody, be a leader. Like, make a point. He's not a rookie. It's like he's been there. It's his 4th year. Like, what are we doing?
Yeah, I mean, I would, yeah, I mean, 5 is. I would say like between a 4 and a 5, like a 4.5. Just because how Matt LaFleur has seemed to like want to live and die on third down. Like the Packers have been one of the best third down teams in the league offensively, and that's why they've looked somewhat competent. Like that's probably the nicest way I can put it. Compared to like just being complete shit this year is their success on third down. Well, if receivers are dropping the ball on key third downs, then things are going to get very, very bad very, very quickly with him wanting to set up third and shorts, third and mediums, and where he's, the highest, I guess, rate of throwing the ball. So, yeah, if they're going to drop it, and especially key guys that are going to be out there with Romeo Doubs, who usually is, I mean, he's known what, as everyone call him, third and doves. I mean, that's usually his thing, is tough catches over the middle. Contested catches. So if he's dropping that, that's an issue. We already know about Wicks a little bit and some of these other guys. But, yeah, I mean, if Matt LaFleur is going to keep calling games like he is of heavy run on first down, the second down to set up, third and medium, third and short, and they're dropping passes like this, then, I mean, that's going to be a lot of 3 and outs and a lot of disjointed clunkiness that we've continued to see like the last 6 to 8 weeks. So, yeah, I don't know. I would have to think that's got to be a pretty big concern right now because you don't really fix that. It's like a concentration and focus thing, and there's really no one else to put in with the injuries right now. So,
Okay. So last one let's talk about Lucas Haversek really quickly. It sounded like the end of the stadium that he missed his couple extra points in was kind of the end that he was having problems with in warmups. We know it was very windy at the game on Sunday. The second one in particular looked like the snap might have been affected by the wind. Whelan didn't get the ball turned around. He didn't get the laces out. So personally, I'm willing to give Lucas Haversek a little grace on his misses this week. However, moving forward, based on what we've seen from him so far, are you very confident, somewhat confident, not at all confident in Lucas Haversek while filling in for Brandon McManus moving forward?
very little confidence, I think, at the moment of just anyone in the kicking game because he's going to have to be the guy. There's no one else. I don't think they're going to bring anyone else in. Like, the only thing I have is he's kicked well at Lambeau Field. So I don't know. I think it's supposed to be like in the 40s. I don't know about the wind on Sunday in Lambeau Field, but I mean, that's the only maybe little confidence I have in him is he has kicked well at home, and he obviously hasn't missed a kick at Lambeau Field yet this year, but yeah, I mean, I don't know. I'm all the way back to square one of special teams overall and just the kicker of every single time that the field goal unit goes out there, I feel like it's either going to be blocked or it's going to be missed, and I think that's the majority of Packer fans right now.
Yeah, you took the words right in my mouth there with your last part. Say it's nothing. I would say if I was talking to Lucas Haversack, I'd be like, nothing personal, dude. But you're on the Packers special teams, so I have zero confidence in you. Like nothing to do with you. You're just Packers special teams unit. Anything to do with it? Like, sorry, dude, just can't trust you.
All right. That's your Lambeau lines.
All right. Well, before we get to the next segment, I just want to talk Vikings a little bit. I don't know. Is there more of a Jekyll and Hyde team as the Vikings of some of their wins this year than some of their losses of I don't want to say how good they can look, but like they've had flashes of 2024, 2025 Vikings, but then they've also been really, really bad. How do we just kind of feel about this matchup on both sides of the ball? Is this a good matchup for the Packers of how they're playing right now? Let's first start on the offensive side with this Vikings defense, and we know how good of a coordinator Brian Flores is and what looks he can bring. Like what's the concern level or confidence level right now of what the Packers potentially can do on Sunday?
My biggest concern is what we've kind of talked about. Like you brought up with the Savion stat, the percentage of plays he's in, touches. Like LaFleur's just so predictable, and like just is everything he does is so random. So if you see a certain formation with a certain motion, like there's only like one or two plays that you could possibly do. And I've talked about Brian Flores' praise since we started this podcast. Like he's going to be dialed in and their defense is going to be dialed in. They're going to send some crazy shit based on the looks they get. So unless LaFleur comes out here and like actually is creative and not the creativity he thinks he's doing, like I don't know, it's not real optimistic because the Vikings defense is good. Vikings offense sucks. JJ McCarthy, unless he something changes, which maybe the Packers just chilling back and soft ass zone coverage. I don't know. I don't know what they'll do against Justin Jefferson. I wouldn't assume they won't sit in zone because he's obviously going to pick them apart, and that might get McCarthy some confidence. So I wouldn't do that. His accuracy and stuff like that and touch has been the biggest question. So like I would definitely play man and make him like actually force him to like make good throws. But I don't know. What do I know? So I don't know. Yeah, Vikings defense against our offense. I'm very scared unless like we actually do something different. But at the same time, like I don't think their offensive line, the Vikings offensive line has been great. Like our defense, and this is a division game at home. Like if they're gonna play, like this would be a great game to like they should. I would assume that defense is gonna bring it this week.
Yeah, I mean, this is a game that it's a toss up. Like we could either come out looking really good or we could come out super flat like we had the last couple of years and get down big and have to fight and claw our way back. I don't know. I don't have like big confidence either way that this is going to be like a great game for us, but hope I'm wrong.
Yeah, and on the defensive side, to me, it feels very similar to like the Bengals game where, like going into that, we're like, oh, it's Joe Flacco, but they still had like all these weapons like on the outside and some of the talent they had at skill players. Why I have very similar kind of vibes with the Vikings, where well, it's JJ McCarthy. He's a young guy. He's going to make some mistakes. He's been not playing very well, but they still got Justin Jefferson. They still have Jordan Addison, T.J. Hawkinson, and Aaron Jones has played well against the Packers. So I don't know. Like everything screams to me of like this should be a defensive get right game, but then I don't know if that's a thing right now with the Packers on that side of the ball. So I don't know. That's just kind of the vibes that I'm getting right now, or just kind of the feeling I'm getting. And yes, I know we won that game, but just kind of that like we shouldn't be like overly worried, but I don't know. They still got a lot of talent on that side.
It just feels like if there's any week that JJ McCarthy is going to look like 2009 Brett Favre, it's going to be this week.
100%. Yeah. 100%. And it's going to be probably a lot of it's going to be Kevin O'Connell's going to set him up for success and just call like an A+ game.
Yeah.
Yeah. And Hafley's just going to, like you mentioned, not really adjust and just kind of play like he's played. But we'll get to the predictions to that in a little bit. But all right, well, that is the I guess opening drive and talking Packers breakdown. We're gonna go in 3 and out. We're gonna change things out just a little bit. We're going to each take it down. And just kind of talk about some top storylines or hot takes that we have with any sport. Can be across the NFL, can be basketball, hockey, soccer, baseball, golf, any level. Doesn't matter. This is kind of each of ours time to shine. We can obviously discuss stuff with that or debate with it. But I want to get it started. I hope I do not take either topic from either of you, but we'll start on first down. I want to stay in the NFL because we are getting to the point now where I think teams are kind of paying attention to 1 through 7 in the standings, right? Like I think we've reached that point in the regular season where games are starting to mean a little bit more. As of right now, the Packers are a 6 seed if the season ended today. But I want you guys to kind of put in the NFC. We're only talking NFC right now. I only want to worry about the NFC. If you were to break the NFC into tiers right now of true contenders, kind of that next level, and then I don't know if you want to say like, I don't buy into them at all. They're pretenders. They're not going to be a factor. We don't have to go all entirely through the NFC, but I want you to do 1 through 7 right now, and then the Lions as well, because I know they're on the outside looking in. So those top 8 teams, if you were to put teams in like legit contenders, they are favorites in the NFC North, who would you put right now in that tier for the NFC?
Say that. Sorry, say that again. Go ahead, Riley. Say something.
If I was gonna do, I'd do 3 tiers. So legit contenders to me right now is only 2. I'd say it's the Eagles just because their fucking defense is insane and like they've done it before and I don't know, like they're the Super Bowl champs, still number 1 seed. And the Rams, like those top 2. You guys might argue and say the Seahawks should be up there, and like I don't know either way, but I would put them in the 2nd tier where like I just have to see still. So in that tier, it would be the Seahawks just because I mean, Sam Darnold's like, I still don't trust him. Like, he had a great year last year. Went into the playoffs, got his ass kicked by the Rams in the playoffs in a big game. Week 18, they played the Lions for the number 1 seed and whatever. Played like shit. So, like, in big games, like, sorry, Sam Darnold still hasn't done it for me. So that's why Seahawks are, like, I still don't know yet. I would say Packers talent-wise and then the Lions talent-wise. But the Lions, like, have a weakness now. If they get dominated up front like they have against the Packers and the Eagles, their offense is complete shit. So still have to see if they can figure that out. And then just the rest, I would say, like, you still have those. The Bucks are just like half dead, but Baker's still kind of scary. The Bears, I don't fucking know what they are, but they keep winning close games. Like, that's pretty much like all that I really respect or care about. 49ers, I don't know. The 49ers are my wild card. Like, I don't know what I put them in. Like, it would not surprise me if they sneak into the playoffs. It would not surprise me if the 49ers, like, somehow went to the Super Bowl. It would also not surprise me if they lost in the first round. So, they're my outlier. I don't know what to put them in. The 49ers are, like, a very scary wild card that could lose right away or they could get to the Super Bowl. But I think the Eagles and the Rams are clearly up there with my 2nd tier being the Packers, Lions, and Seahawks. And then you throw the Bears and the Bucks or whoever else you want to put in that lower category that I don't like. They're playing the best they can, but like it's just not that good.
Yeah, I'm gonna agree saying that the Eagles and the Rams are the 2 clear favorites in the NFC. The next group, kind of wait and see. Kind of the tier below, I'm going Tampa Bay, Seattle, Green Bay, San Francisco. They've been like in and out with their quarterbacks, so who knows? They're getting healthy. Kittle's back. Lions, I think they're dangerous if they play at home. They just seem like a totally different team at home. If you get them on the road, they're definitely gettable, especially if they're in a cold environment too, as we saw this last Sunday. I think the Bears are absolute frauds. I don't believe in them whatsoever.
Yeah. Okay. I would tend to agree with you guys too. I think my big thing I was wanted to see if who you thought kind of the top contenders were, like the who does the NFC kind of go through, and I would agree. I think I don't know. I would put the Rams above the Eagles if you're going to like put them in order. I know the Eagles are the one seed right now, but the Eagles defense pretty damn good right now. The offense I think still has a lot of issues, but it also says something of just they are a good team because they found ways to win. Like good teams still find ways to win. The Broncos, they're a good team. Like their offense has been up and down, but the defense has been consistent. They always freaking find a way to win in the fourth quarter. The Bears, we'll see. They kind of remind me of like the Vikings last year a little bit. Like I don't know if they're as talented, but like all these like one score games and all these comebacks is insane. Like we keep waiting of like one of these weeks they're just not going to do it, and they just keep doing it, and they just keep making a play in the fourth quarter. And I mean, how many game-winning freaking field goals have they had of like 25, 30 yards? That seems to just kind of be the common trend.
They're just on a fucking lucky heater. Like this week playing the Steelers with Rodgers probably not playing with a broken wrist, like you're lucking out again. Like the fucking Bears are just on a fucking heater of just getting lucky. So like sometimes you just gotta ride that wave.
Yeah. All right. Well, that is my first down. We're gonna go to you, Mike. Since you're on the top of the screen there, you're on second down. What is your topic of the week?
It's a big week for you and I here, Colin. You know why?
Was that Illinois, Wisconsin?
It is.
Oh boy.
Yeah.
Okay. I didn't know if that's where you were going.
Yep. Wisconsin is 7.5 point underdog right now. Opened at 9.5 point, down to 7.5 points. So Wisconsin's trending upward. I think Wisconsin wins this week. Hot take. How do you feel? How are you feeling as an Illini fan? Have you even been watching, or is college football like basically done for you?
I did not watch any of the Maryland game. I watched a little bit of the Rutgers game before that. But if the game is like low scoring, if they keep Illinois under 20 points, yes, I think they could win. But like I don't know, can Wisconsin score 20 points? I don't think so.
Don't need to when they're only gonna hold Illinois to 10.
If they can hold Illinois to 10, they could probably win like 13-10 like that. I could see that, but I don't know if it gets into the 20s. I just don't see that happening. I think like Saturday weather is actually supposed to be pretty nice too, so I don't think it's going to be a Washington snowstorm, windy, just total grind it out Wisconsin game. I think it's like close to 50 and sunny on Saturday down in Madison. So
It's 6:30 game, so it's gonna be at night, so it's gonna be colder.
a little colder. But yeah, we'll see. I mean, Illinois' offense doesn't seem they seem like they've been clicking a little bit lately. I mean, Hudson Clement's been coming on, I know, to kind of be like that second guy. I mean, Luke Altmaier's still Luke Altmaier. Defense, I don't know if you could say they're playing better. I know they played two kind of shit offenses these last 2 weeks, but like I said, Wisconsin's kind of a shit offense. So I don't know. We'll just kind of see. We'll kind of see what the answer will be. The Illinois offense versus the Wisconsin defense. Obviously, like that'll be the key thing of the game.
Here's a hot take for me. I think Illinois wins, but I also think Wisconsin scores more than 20 because I think the Illinois defense is about as basic and fucking dog shit as there possibly is in college football. So, yes, I think Illinois wins like 28-24.
Okay.
Dude, that is hot.
All right. Anything else off of that, or that's where you wanted to keep?
On Wisconsin, baby, let's go.
All right. There you go. All right. Let's go to third down, Riley. What do you got?
Because I'm gonna stick in the college football world, and then tonight the college football playoffs top 12 are coming out again for their weekly segment, and I'll put you guys in the spot. I don't know if you can pull anything out of your ass, but I like I said multiple times, I quit on college football about a month ago, but like the last 3 weeks, honestly, like it's caught back up. I just fucking love triple option, and Collin knows this. So I've been on this fucking Navy watch party. And I said this way back in our college football show. I was too much of a little bitch to fucking commit to it. I picked Boise State as like my non-Power 4 team to get into the playoffs like way back in August when we did this. But I literally brought up, I went back and listened to make sure I brought up Navy how I wanted to, but I couldn't just make myself do it. I should have done it. So my hot take is Navy's going to be that non-power 4 conference team that does get in. All they have to do is not fuck up and not lose to Memphis this week, and they're going to finish 10-2, but they're going to be in the American Conference Championship, and they're going to win that, and they are going to get in as the 12th team, and they are, hot take, somehow going to beat Texas Tech or whoever falls into that 5th spot. So I don't know if I actually believe that part, but my real hot take is I have Navy sneaking in. Right now I think it's Tulane, which they fucking beat Tulane. So they might play them or North Texas as long as they don't blow it this week against Memphis in the American Conference Championship. But my hot take is Navy. Navy, the Navy midshipmen somehow get into the college football playoffs as that 12th seed. So if you guys, I don't know if you've paid attention at all to any of the non-power 4 conference schools, if you had a hot take of or a bold prediction of who you think that 12th team is going to be.
2 questions. Does the college football playoffs, like the bracket or whatever, come out before the Army-Navy game?
I don't even know. I don't know. Like it's
Oh,
weird because Army and Navy are in like in the same conference, but like the Army Navy game doesn't count as a conference game, so I don't really get it. Like how it's just kind of there.
okay. So they should beat Army, though, I'm guessing?
They should, yeah, because Army's way down this year. Navy's really good.
Okay. You think Lane is still coming to Florida?
I would say he's either going to Florida or he's staying at Ole Miss. I don't think LSU is an actual real thing. The way the last couple of days have gone and all the reports and stuff.
I'm just trying to see who's Tulane have left. They have Temple and Charlotte.
Yeah, they'll win both those games. Like it might be a rematch of Navy and them in the. Like, I don't know. I don't even know the tiebreaker. There literally might be 4 teams that end with 1 loss, and they've all beaten each other. So I don't really know how it goes.
Okay, so you're pretty much saying the winner, if it would be Navy and Tulane in the championship, you'd say the winner of that is going to be in. You think it's Navy? Okay.
Yeah.
All
4
right.
teams with 1 conference loss right now in the American.
Navy just took out South Florida, which has been everybody's 12th team for fucking 8 weeks now, or actually pretty much all season since they won those first 2 early games. And they just fucking rushed for like 450 yards against them this last week. Florida couldn't do shit against them on the ground, and Navy rushes for 450 against them.
All right. I mean, yeah, obviously the win over South Florida, huge. I don't think it's like a super hot take. But yeah, I guess I'd have to look and see what all the tiebreakers and shit are, because I would assume they would have to get into the conference championship game to have a shot, right? I mean, right now they're on the top.
Stuck with my hot take from freaking July because I went back and listened, and I'm like, I literally said that, but I didn't have the balls to like stick to it, so I just went with boy, did you say it?
Tennessee, I don't know what the Michael have to work out all the tiebreakers, but okay. I like that.
Even better because their 3 best offensive players are all white dudes.
Yeah, I mean Tulane kind of has I want to say a similar resume, but they don't really have any big wins. Like obviously Navy's got that top 25 win this last week. Tulane's they did beat Duke. I guess they beat Northwestern. It's probably their 2 best wins, lost by a lot to Ole Miss. So, yeah, I mean, I like that. I would have to think that's the winner of that in there, but all right. Mike, you got a hot take on that?
No, I don't know anything.
Mike's
about
like it
those
doesn't.
two.
Mike's like it doesn't matter. It's all going through his team Indiana. He's fully bought in.
My other hot
No,
take I was gonna say is I was just gonna fully, but every freaking major market sports media hit this day. I was gonna fully jump on like the Chiefs are actually dead this year because their offensive line sucks. Like I fucking said in the offseason, but everybody talked about that in ESPN and Fox and all the bullshit. But I was gonna say that, but yeah, the Broncos really fucking exposed that this week.
And the AFC has all of a sudden turned into a pretty fun race there with some of those teams all with just 2 losses. So that's going to be fascinating to kind of see how that plays out. But all right, well, that's our 3 and out for the week. I kind of liked it. Some different storylines. I know we all stuck with football this week, but in the weeks to come, maybe we'll get into some other areas of sports. But all right, it is time for the final drive and pick'em games this week. So with that being said, Mike's going to recap us, and all I know is I've fallen further down the standings away from everyone else. So Mike, where are we at going into this week?
All right. I went 4-1, putting me at 31-25-1. Both of you went 2-3. Riley is at 30-26-1. Collin, you are 27-29-1. So you fell a little bit, but I mean, you still got time, brother.
I suppose I need to stop doing those double ups. I think I guess I did kind of split my double ups this week, but maybe not do multiple in the same week. But all right, well, we have, I guess, 5 total games to pick from. However, yes, you can still double up on some of them. We do have obviously the divisional game of the Packers Vikings and then the Bears Lions and your lock and upset. So let us start at Lambeau, week 12, a noon game. It is, I think, like the latest in the season that the Packers and Vikings have met since like 2003 or 5 or something like that. It's been a while. I know that's probably wrong, but it's been a while that these teams have met this late in the season. So we will start with you, Riley. Packers, Vikings. Your parents are going to the game. They're going to be cheering on. What is the result that the Packers are going to give them?
Yes, my parents will be in attendance, and I'm not gonna lie, just to pre-warn you guys, like, you guys might have to carry this conversation next week because one of 2 options, like, I'm gonna be super depressed from losing a semifinal game, so I might just, like, not even associate with the world, or 2, I'll be prepping for a state championship game on a short week. So either way, I don't know if I'll actually watch this game, but I kind of touched on it earlier. Not super, super confident, but like I just don't think JJ McCarthy's very good. I think and Mike brought this up, like we just don't catch interceptions, but like we're actually getting our hands on more balls than we have. Like at some point in time, you would think we'd actually capitalize. So fingers crossed that happens. So I'm gonna go with the Packers.
All right, I will go next. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know. Like I need to start picking games different from you guys. I know, but I still got a little bit of time left. I don't know. I do not think the Packers lose 3 straight games at home. I think that would be absolute insanity. It's Toyota-thon. Jordan Love is going to start rolling here. So like if you talk about like all of the crazy shit that happens, well guess what? Jordan Love balls out in Toyota-thon. We're gonna get it started here. He's going to ball out against Brian Flores in the defense. Matt LaFleur is going to finally let him get going in the second half when they're probably going to be either behind or pretty close. And I think they pull away and get at least a 7-point victory. I'm going to say at least a touchdown. So I'm going to go Packers over Vikings.
Yeah, I'm not too confident in this game. I think the Flores is going to give them everything that they can handle on offense. Expecting another really choppy, ugly game from the offense. And I think JJ McCarthy is going to probably look better than he should. But I think in the end, they do make 1 or 2 plays just enough to help them get over the hump. So I do have the Packers beating the Vikings in this game. But it's going to be close, I think, though.
Okay. Let's go to the first place. I had to cough after I said that. The first place, Chicago Bears, currently NFC North, you mentioned, playing an all of a sudden banged up Pittsburgh Steelers team with the Aaron Rodgers status uncertain. You might get, was it Mason Rudolph still? Is he still the backup quarterback for them? Potentially could start. Yep. So do the Bears keep it rolling against the Steelers, Mike?
No, they don't. I think Rodgers is going to play this game. I think he's gonna do everything he can, say everything he needs to the training staff to play this week. I think he wants to quote unquote own the Bears one last time and let them know about it. I said before, I think the Bears are frauds. I think the Steelers do enough in this game to beat them, and Rodgers is gonna show him up a little bit again, even with that slightly broken wrist.
Riley.
Yeah, this is like the hardest game I've had to pick, like literally all season, I think, because like the Steelers, like I don't know if like Mike said, I don't know if Rodgers going to play. I would for sure pick the Steelers if I knew he was going to. I just don't know. And like at the same time, like Mike's saying the Bears are frauds, and like I kind of set up, I just like they're fine. I don't think they're great. Like at the same time, like I think the Steelers are fucking bad as well. So I'm actually gonna go Bears here.
Okay. All right. Well, I mean, I have to stick with my current pick. Yeah, I don't know. I for some reason don't think Rodgers is going to play either. Even though he should, because like all of a sudden the Steelers now are kind of in a thick playoff race as well. You mentioned it last episode, Mike, of how fascinating that is now with the Ravens also continuing to win. So I think every game for the Steelers is important, but yeah, something about this freaking Bears team. Like I said, I don't think they're great, but they're just finding freaking ways to win. So if you want to call them a solid team that's finding ways to win, I think it continues. So I'm gonna go Bears over Steelers, and maybe this will help out. Maybe this will make sure it's a loss. I'm gonna also make it my lock of the week. I'm gonna put the Bears over the Steelers as my lock of the week. I've been running out of teams. A lot of my top teams have been picked already, so I've been running out of teams to pick. So slim options this week, so I had to go Bears over Steelers. I know they're 3 points favorite because it is in Chicago too, I believe. So Bears over Steelers. All right, let's go to the last NFC North game. The Lions. They're looking to bounce back, taking on a Giants team with only 2 wins. I don't know. I think Dan Campbell offenses tend to, when the back's against the wall and they need a win, they just all of a sudden put their foot on the gas and score like 40 points and blow a team out. I think the Jameis Winston magic, if you ever want to call it that even, I think he's going to run into a Lions defense that's going to turn him over a few times like the Packers were unable to do. So I'm going to say Lions big over the Giants as they get back in the win column. I hope the freaking Giants win. I'd love that to create a little cushion. I don't think it's going to happen. Lions over the Giants.
Yeah, you took the words right out of my mouth. I feel the exact same way this week. Lions at home, bounce back week over a bad team. Lions big over the Giants this week.
Yeah, I will triple that, and I will also dub Lions are my lock of the week as well. Somehow I have not used them, so picking the Lions and my lock, Lions.
All right, so that just leaves Mike, your lock of the week. Me and Riley have put ours, 2 NFC North teams. You're going outside the NFC North. Who is your lock of the week?
My lock of the week is the San Francisco 49ers over the Carolina Panthers. Brock Purdy is back. George Kittle is back. They looked really good last week, albeit against the Cardinals, who aren't great. But I'm taking the 49ers over the Panthers, who I don't think are really that good, as their record says. But give me the 49ers this week as my lock.
I would think the Packer fans would like that because if we're talking about like a wild card race, if that's what it ends up being, the Panthers are just going to be that annoying team that's going to just flirt with like being right there at like the 7 seed. They obviously had the tiebreaker over the Packers beating them. So I would have to think a lot of Packer fans would love the 49ers to beat them and kind of take them down a couple games behind them. So, all right, that is our locks of the week. Let's go to upsets. I'll get it started. And let me check, because I did this morning, make sure it's still leaning that way. It is. Riley just mentioned it, of how he thinks this team is completely dead. Yep. I'm going to go, just because I think it's literally at Arrowhead. I think that's why they are 3.5 point favorites, where they always say if you're at home, you usually gives you 1.5. So that kind of technically almost puts you at like 2 points, so pretty close to a pick 'em. But I think the Colts take down the Chiefs. The Colts are in a race right now to get that number 1 seed with the Broncos, and I think this is a big game for them to kind of just further solidify that the Chiefs are not the top dogs this year, and there's new sheriffs in town, and the Colts are up there with the Broncos to fight for that number 1 seed. So that's my upset of the week. Colts over the Chiefs.
Yeah, that was a game I was looking at too, but I mean, I don't know. I feel like the NFL wants the Chiefs to win. They want them to be relevant. So I'm not totally convinced that the Chiefs are going to lose that game. I struggled finding an underdog this week. I'm going to take the Texans on Thursday night at home over the Bills. 6-point underdogs. Texans won 2 in a row. Bills, they've struggled a couple times on the road this year. So I think there's just going to be something fluky that happens. Texans defense will show up in a big way Thursday night. Give me the Texans over the Bills as my underdog.
Trying to find a new one because I was going to take the Colts, but okay, I'm going to change mine. I will take, and I don't think they're that bad. I will take the Cardinals over the Jaguars just because I don't really have a reason, but like the Jaguars are great every time I watch them. And then when you watch the Cardinals, like they're in every game. And they're not, besides the Seahawks get out of them, but I don't know. I'll take the Cardinals over the Jags just to give Collin a chance here to catch up in the standing.
And didn't what Brissett just set like the completions record, like most completions in a game like this past?
Yeah,
like 40 or I don't remember what it was. So they're definitely let them just freaking rip it down the field. So I think fantasy wise, a lot of people are on the Cardinals right now with McBride and Wilson and some other guys. But all right, well that is our Week 12 pick'ems. Yeah, going to be interesting here as we get to the last third of the regular season. Will Riley be able to keep his lead? Is Mike going to catch them? Is Collin going to have any relevance? Is Mike going to keep his lead? Is Riley going to catch him? Is Collin going to have any relevance whatsoever in the race, or just kind of be at the bottom?
We're only 4 games back, man. It can all
Hey, man,
in 1 week.
I've been only 4 games back for about 7 weeks now, I think. So not a lot has changed, I think, in my part of the standings. I think anytime I have a 4-1, I followed up with like a 2-3. So it's like 2 steps forward and 3 steps back for me, it seems, every week. But yeah, we'll see.
He's kind of living and dying by those double ups.
I know. I have not had success with it. So, and well, I guess we'll see. Feel a little nervous about this week's, but all right, let's kind of wrap things up here. I did want to check if we had any comments this week. I don't know if you guys have looked. Trying to pull up
this week.
The episode. Nothing this week. All right, well, make sure to comment on this episode if you want to. We always appreciate that. But wanted to talk a little high school football. Riley mentioned earlier. Big week, big viewing week for Illinois and Wisconsin. If you guys didn't know, Bayport, they're playing for their 2nd straight state title. They just beat Muskego in a rematch. They're taking on Arrowhead on Friday down in Camp Randall. So go Pirates. See if Matt Stevens and Brady Moon can get them back to back. And then how about this? Doesn't really happen too often. 2 teams in the same conference, but on opposite sides of the conference, because the conference is broken up in 2 sides, the North and the South. 2 teams in the same conference are playing each other for the state championship game in Division II. That would be West De Pere is playing Green Bay Notre Dame in Division II. Green Bay Notre Dame obviously won state last year, got bumped up to D2. West De Pere, they've been undefeated, high-flying, high-powered offense. I think this has kind of been what everyone has wanted to see all season long, 2 undefeated teams. So that one I think is going to be fascinating on Friday as well. And then Saturday, we go down to Illinois, the Byron Tigers. They're taking on Richmond Burton, a couple undefeated teams. And then the most anticipated rematch maybe in the state, at least on the northern part. Stockton Blackhawks hosting the Lena Winslow Panthers for a trip to state. That one's going to be fascinating as well. It was all smoke, Mike. All smoke. Riley being nervous this last week. Just absolutely just put a stomping on Dwight. Shut him out. Did it get to a running clock? Not quite a running clock. Did it get to a running clock? Still have only given up 3 points in the first 3 rounds. Not a single touchdown in the playoffs. So the Stockton defense standing tall right now. But I think that'll be a fun matchup. But that's high school. Mike, I don't know if you wanted to talk WIAC. 4 teams got in. Kind of a little bitter about UWL is the only one of them that's going to be on the road, and kind of a shit draw. They're there with North Central, so more than likely if they win, they're going to have to play North Central, which not going to probably be favorable. North Central on the road, who is just an absolute powerhouse. All the other 3 WIAC teams got home games, is what it is. We'll see what the Eagles can do, but anything else from you two before we get out of here?
Nope.
All right. Well, like we said, hopefully we'll have a over the moon focused Riley in next week's episode. Preparing for Plain and Steak, but we will tune into that. But everyone, thanks for tuning in to the Dairyland Drive podcast. Keep giving us those 5-star reviews. Keep sharing it to everyone on Spotify, Apple, or our YouTube channel. We want to see some more of those comments. Some of the listeners that haven't commented in a while, throw us something this next episode. It can be Packers. It can be anything in the sports world in general. We just want to hear from you. If it is a question or hot take, we want to hear it. We enjoy seeing that. But as always, Collin, Mike, and Riley, thanks for listening to this week's Dairyland Drive podcast. We'll see you next episode.
Go Pack, go.